Why Jerusalem and the Temple Mount? 2000 BCE, Abraham visits Melchizedek, king of Salem and priest of El Elyon, God Most High, Genesis 14:18 through 20, and Hebrews 6:20 through 7:22. 2000 BCE, Abraham journeys 3 days from Beersheba or Gerrit to Mount Moriah in Jerusalem to offer his son Isaac as a sacrifice in obedience to God's command. God provides a substitute, Genesis 22 and Hebrews 11:8 through 19. Mount Moriah is the site of the Temple Mount. At this same site, the patriarch Jacob gathered stone from the altar upon which his father Isaac was to be sacrificed, and using this stone as a pillow spent the night sleeping upon the rock. Upon waking from the stunning visionary dream, Jacob anointed the stone pillow with oil he had received from heaven, and the stone then sank into the earth to become the foundation stone of the great temple that would later be built by Solomon. This hallowed site is known as Bethel, meaning gate or house of heaven. 1400 BCE, after setting up the ark at Shiloh near Shechem, Neblus, Joshua launches a foray into Jerusalem, Joshua 10:23 and 15:63. 1000 BCE, David conquers Jebusite stronghold of Zion, builds the city of David south of the Temple Mount, reigns 33 years in Jerusalem after 7-year reign at Hebron, 2 Samuel 5:1 through 15. 1000 BCE, David returns ark to Jerusalem and places it in tabernacle of Moses erected there, 2 Samuel 6:1 through 18, 1 Chronicles 15:1 through 1643. David plans first temple but not permitted to build it, 2 Samuel 7:1 through 17. David purchases threshing floor from Arnaria, site of first temple, and erects altar of sacrifice on Mount Moriah, 2 Samuel 24:1 through 25 and 1 Chronicles 21:1 through 22:5. 950 BCE, Solomon builds royal palace and enlarges city, 13-year period, 1 Kings 7:1 through 12. Solomon, with help from Hiram of Tyre and 183,600 workers, builds the first temple and royal palace using local limestone, cedar from Lebanon, and great amounts of gold and silver. Temple built in 7 years. See 1 Kings chapters 5 through 9 and 2 Chronicles 2. 910 BCE, kingdom divided, 10 northern tribes, 2 southern tribes. Pharaoh Shishak of Egypt plunders the temple, carrying off much gold and silver, 1 Kings 14:25 through 28 and 2 Chronicles 12:1 through 11. 835 BC, Joash, king of Judah. Joash repairs temple, establishes maintenance fund, and brings period of revival and reform to southern kingdom, 2 Kings 12:5. 720 BCE, Ahaz, king of Judah, dismantles Solomon's bronze vessels and places private Syrian altar in temple, 2 Kings 16:1 through 20 and 2 Chronicles 28. 716 BCE, Hezekiah, king of Jerusalem, with help of God and prophet Isaiah, resist Assyrian attempt to capture Jerusalem, 2 Chronicles 32. Wells and springs stopped up, restore temple, and brings period of national reform and revival, 2 Chronicles 29 through 31. Later strips gold to pay tribute to Sennacherib, 2 Kings 18:16. 640 BCE, Josiah repairs the temple and brings about national religious reforms, 2 Chronicles 34 through 35. Sunday, 9th of Av, 587 BCE, Nebuchadnezzar lays siege to Jerusalem, burning the city, murdering inhabitants, and carrying a remnant into captivity. 2 Kings 24 and 25, 2 Chronicles 36, Josephus. Temple destroyed and sacred vessels carried off to Babylon. These vessels desecrated in Babylon by Belshazzar, Daniel 5. 573 BCE, Jeremiah prophesies a 70-year captivity in Babylon. Jeremiah 29, 1-14. Ezekiel receives a vision from God describing in detail the great temple to be built during the reign of the Messiah in an age which is yet to come. Ezekiel 40-48. 541 BCE, First Jews returned from Babylon in small numbers to rebuild the city and its walls. 70 years of exile terminated. Daniel 9 and Haggai 2, 18-19. Second temple built despite fierce opposition and delays, beginning with erection of an altar to sacrifice on Mount Moriah. Temple completed after 15-year delay in 515 BCE. 332 BCE, Alexander the Great, Daniel 8, 21-23 and 11, 2-4. Priests from Jerusalem meet invading army of Alexander and dissuade him from destroying Jerusalem by showing him scriptures that predict his rise to power. After the death of Alexander, a series of war between Syria and Egypt subject the Holy Land to multiple distresses. Daniel 9, 24-27, 11, 1-35, and Zechariah 9, 1-10. Josephus. 175-163 BCE, Antiochus Epiphanes IV, the little horn of Daniel 8-9, a cruel Syrian Seleucid king plunders Jerusalem, murdering many Jews. Daniel 11, 21-35. Antiochus desecrates the temple, offers a sow upon the altar, and carries off temple treasures. Worship and sacrifices halted. 15 December 167 BCE. 170 BCE, godly Jews under Matthias begin revolt, culminating in repossession of Jerusalem. 1 Maccabees. Temple purified and worship and sacrifices restored in 165 BCE. 141 BCE, the Roman Akva fortress is conquered by the Maccabees, thus freeing the temple from alien supervision. 63 BCE, Roman conquest of the Holy Land, Daniel 2, 40-43. Pompey brazenly enters Holy of Holies, disappointed to find it empty. 40 BCE, Herod the Great, 4 BCE, cruel despotic Roman ruler and Idumene who murdered the infants in Bethlehem, building projects at Jericho, Hebron, and Caesarea to placate the Jews. 40 BCE, Herod the Great, 4 BCE, Temple Mount vastly enlarged and leveled, Second Temple rebuilt and enlarged, 10,000 workers, 100 priests, 1,000 wagons, temple and courts rebuilt in 63 BCE, city and walls under construction 46 years. 3 BCE, Jesus presented at the temple and dedicated to God by his parents, doves offered in sacrifice, Luke 2, 21-24. 8 CE, Jesus at age 12 talks to priests and teachers in the Second Temple while his parents are in Jerusalem for Passover. Family home at Nazareth, Luke 2, 41-50. 30-33 CE, Pilate 26-36 CE, Herod Antipas exiled 39 CE, Herod Agrippa died 44 CE. 30-33 CE, Jesus tempted by the devil on the pinnacle of the temple, Luke 4, 1-12. Jesus casts out money changers from the temple early in his ministry, John 2, 13-16, and again 3 years later. During his final week of life before the resurrection, he taught in the temple courts and confronted crowds and Pharisees there. Jesus predicts destruction of the second temple. Matthew 21, Mark 11, Luke 19, and John 12. 33 through 35 CE. Jesus leaves his disciples 40 days after the resurrection, ascending from the Mount of Olives. Acts 1, 1 through 6, John 20 through 21, 1 Corinthians 15, 1 through 8. 33 through 35 CE. Followers of Jesus gathered in the temple courts 10 days later on Pentecost Sunday, experience coming from the Spirit of God to give birth to the Church of Jesus Christ. Peter preaches to the crowds and many are healed. Acts 1. 33 through 35 CE. Martyrdom of Stephen on the Temple Mount, Saul of Tarsus consenting. Acts 6 through 7. 62 CE. Christians driven from Jerusalem by persecution. James, brother of Jesus, leader of the Christian church in Jerusalem, martyred by being thrown from the pinnacle of the Temple Mount. 9th of Av, 70 CE. Roman general Titus besieges Jerusalem, destroying city and murdering inhabitants. Terrible suffering and destructions. Josephus. Temple set afire, soldiers tear every stone apart and get melted gold. Moriah and vessels carried to Rome, treasury robbed. 136 CE undertakes rebuilding of Jerusalem as Alea Capitolina, provoking unsuccessful Bar Kokhba revolt in 135 by devout Jews. Hadriana erects temple of Jupiter on Temple Mount and statue of himself facing east in front. Jews' attempt to build third temple fails. 333 CE. Traveler from Bordeaux visits Jerusalem and relates Jews praying on Temple Mount. 330 through 640 CE. Constantine. Byzantine period. Christian made official religion of Roman Empire. Church of the Holy Sepulchre built. Persian conquest of 614 CE. 37,000 Christians exiled to Persia. Jews later banished from Jerusalem also. Byzantine Emperor Herodias recaptures Jerusalem 629 CE. Temple Mount neglected, becomes refuge heap. Herodias proposes building near temple. 362 CE. Julian authorizes Jews to rebuild temple. Work stopped by fire or earthquake. 400 CE. Hieronymus describes Jews mourning on Temple Mount. 638 CE. Mausoleum conquest. 685 to 705 CE. Abd el-Malik extension of the city and rebuilding of walls and roads. Islamic tradition alleges that Caliph Omar clears rubbish from Temple Mount and prays there in 638 CE. Old wooden El-Aqsa Mosque constructed 700 CE and Dome of Rock by Abd el-Malik 684 to 690 CE. 660 to 750 CE. Umayyads, Abbasids, power struggles, revolts, and persecutions of Jews and Christians causes Jerusalem to deteriorate. 746 CE. Earthquake destroys El-Aqsa Mosque. 868 CE. Ahmed ibn Tulum, Palestine annexed to Egypt. 831 CE. Caliph al-Mamam orders restoration work on the Dome of the Rock. 940 CE. Fatimid caliphs rule from Egypt. 969 CE. El-Hekam orders destruction of churches and synagogues. 1010 CE. Karaite scribe Solomon bin Uracham writes of synagogues within Temple Mount courtyard. 1016 CE. Earthquake causes structural damage on Temple Mount. 1030 CE. Rabbi Shlomo ben Yehuda describes Jewish custom of encircling Temple Mount. 1099 through 1187 CE Crusaders, violent conquest of Holy Land in the name of Christianity. Many Jews and Muslims are murdered. Jews sold into slavery and banished from Jerusalem. Dome of the Rock reconsecrated as Temple Domini, and El Aqsa as Temple Solomonus. 1033 CE, earthquake damages El Aqsa Mosque. 1100 CE, Rabbi Avraham Bar Cha writes of synagogues on Temple Mount. 1165 CE, Maimonides visits Jerusalem and prays on Temple Mount. 1187 CE, Jerusalem recaptured for Islam, Crusaders defeated, Dome of the Rock and El Aqsa restored to Islam, icons removed. 1190, walls overlaid with marble inscriptions added in Arabic. 1229 CE, Al-Malik al-Kamil of Egypt cedes Jerusalem to Frederick II. 1244 through 1517 CE, ruled by Tartars, Mongols, Ayyubids, and Mamelukes. Muslim control of holy places 1270 through 1290 CE. Muslim restoration work on dome, brass doors added in 1467. Persian tiles added by Suleiman, lead sheathing to dome 1735 CE, mosaic removed 1835 and 1874 CE. 1517 CE, Ottoman period, Turkish rule. 1546 CE, earthquake causes serious damage in Jerusalem. 1832 through 1840 CE, Turkish conquest by Selim I, Suleiman the Magnificent builds walls and improves the city and aqueducts, Jews tolerated but heavily taxed and property confiscated. Egyptian governorship under Muhammad Ali and Ibrahim Pasha, 1831 CE. 1855 CE, first acknowledged non-Muslim visitor permitted to enter Temple Mount since 1187 CE. 1866 CE, Jews become majority in Jerusalem. December 1917 CE, British capture of Jerusalem from the Turks. Temple Mount first opened to Europeans. 1921 to 1947 CE, rule under British mandate. UN participation in November 1947. Deterioration of British rule. Waves of immigration by Jews under very adverse conditions. 1927 CE, earthquake weakens Al-Aqsa Mosque foundations. June 1948 CE, rebirth of the State of Israel. December 1949, Jerusalem is made capital city, Knesset built. 1951 CE, July 20th, King Abdullah assassinated at entrance to Al-Aqsa Mosque. 1955 to 1965 CE, Jerusalem divided. Jordan rule over Old City. Dome foundations strengthened by Jordanians. 1955 to 1965 CE, electric lights added. June 1967 CE, Jerusalem reunited in Six-Day War. Israeli flag flies temporarily over Temple Mount. Control and stewardship of Temple Mount returned to Muslims. Fire in 1968 destroys pulpit and mihrab in Al-Aqsa. Spring 1982 CE, union of the Third Temple groups. To the mountain of the Lord, the faithful of the Temple Mount, and the Jerusalem Temple Foundation, planning for the Third Temple. Based upon document prepared by Lambert Dolphin for the Jerusalem Temple Foundation, February 1983. See this website for further information.